to you by today. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray, 26-20. The Patriots win a costly game in Cincinnati. They do get their 9th straight win. They do find a way to battle back from being down 10-0 early, but it cost them. And there was a lot of bad football in this game. Joe Murray, what was your big takeaway from what you saw this afternoon?
Patriots extend their win streak to 9 games. They held off the Bengals, but at what cost, right? The injuries will bring up, but the offense was held back today. Drake May didn't look like himself early on. He did settle. But I just did not like their play calling today, and I got to remind you, Mark, that this was historically one of the worst defenses of all time. So to have that type of performance against a team that was down how many guys? Their starting quarterback, receiver, etc. Not the greatest looking effort, but they did enough to survive. And they have 10 wins with another little bit of time off here, an extra day with the Giants on deck, then the bye. But long term, at what cost did this win, did it cost them today with those injuries?
Oh, there's a cost. I'm conflicted, to be honest with you, Joey. On one hand, and this is my primary takeaway from the game today, okay? On one hand, good win, you get the win, a win is a win, all those different things. Here's the problem, though. I'm not going to talk about a problem. This is what I'm going to say, okay? This is the NFL. You know it, I know it, everybody listening, everybody watching knows it. The NFL is competitive, hyper-competitive. You can lose any given week, any given Sunday, all the cliches. They found a way, despite being a mess for large portions of this game, putting a lot of bad plays out there, they found a way, Joe, to win. Okay, I feel like I'm responsible to point that out and to make that my primary takeaway. Obviously, there are things we're going to have to get to, like you said, the injuries, some bad plays, play calling, sequences I did not like, and a trend I didn't like, to be quite honest with you, and we'll get to all that. But I just feel like this is in an NFL where, you can lose any game, any week. Everybody's so good and talented. Obviously, Joe, the Patriots had won 8 in a row. For a large stretch of that, Drake May looked unbelievable. Okay, the team looked unbeatable. We sat here for weeks being like, how do you beat the Patriots? How do you do it? What do you do? How do you have to approach it? They didn't look great today, okay? It's the NFL. They're not going to look like a juggernaut every week. This is not going to happen. So with that thought in mind, I sit here and I say, they didn't look like a juggernaut this week. They were playing a team that had historically one of the worst defenses we've seen. Yeah, they were on the road, but it's not a good team. They're down a bunch of guys, including their best receiver, including their starting quarterback, including another receiver, their other top receiver who went out of this game late. But that's the NFL, and weird things happen, and they found a way to still battle back from being down 10 and get the win. I know there's a lot of ugly to talk about, and we're going to talk about it, but I just feel like that's where we are. That's what I think. Let's hear what Mike Vrabel has to say. He's at the podium now. That's brought to you by Oakers Technologies.
I don't have an update on anybody right now, unfortunately. I appreciate you guys all talking about the injuries this week, so thanks.
Mike, how much of a battle was this?
It was.
Mentally from start to finish.
That's what happens in this league. You need everybody, and you go through the season, you go on the road, and it's tough, and nobody wants to talk about numbers and records. That doesn't mean shit.
How about Andy and the kicks?
Huge. Those are great, and appreciate what he's done, and I think he's a lot of confidence there. And then the operation, we had, I went through 4 or 5 different combinations on a field goal. You lose linemen, and now you got Farms and, Durden and Morgan's the win. It's just like a lot of moving parts. So give those guys credit for being able to jump in there and help us.
Mike, it had been a while since your team faced a double-digit deficit. What did you see out of your group down 10-0?
We settled down. We settled down, and, they gave us one back and, gave us a little bit of life there defensively. So, we settled down, and, again, it wasn't perfect by any means, but it was, I would say, just enough.
Looks like Hunter was able to make some nice catches right down the stretch as well as that touchdown.
Yeah, and again, when big plays, 1st and 20, we throw to Hunter and Diggs, who every receiver wants production, and ball didn't find him as many times a day, but he turned and blocked, and we went from a holding penalty to 1st and 20 to then converting, and that gave us a spark there. So Hunter was huge, and everybody's battling. It's late in the season, and everybody's beat up. mean, what happened on it? We didn't score, and they, again, you got to score with your man, whatever you call, and it'll be a good learning opportunity for us in a lot of phases, and just how important and how critical the week of practice is and being ready to go, because you never know when your opportunity is going to come, and making sure that everybody's on the same page, and a lot of moving parts today.
Is there anything limiting Drake May today to the sometimes?
Limiting? No, just probably admittedly not his best performance, but give them credit, and I think he came up big with some good throws, and I'm sure there's a couple that he'd like to have back.
Mike, you talked about after efficient finish, to see Chase on get a piece of flack there at the end, and see Carlton come up with a couple pass breakups.
Yeah, and again, to have that penalty called on him and then come back and still be able to challenge and stab, and I didn't think he was too bad on the PI. Maybe it was, but again, to have that called on you and then to come over there and be able to challenge and finish is a testament to him, and being able to Andy make the kick and make it a touchdown game, allowed us just enough time to get him stopped on fourth down.
You had a team in Tennessee with a lot of injuries. What did you learn from that season that you've been applying to this year when you're so struggling with some things?
Prepare as a starter and be ready to go and take advantage of your opportunity.
What impressed you most about the events on that final series and how?
Just trying to, mix everybody in there and try to, mix in some pressure and, give us the coaching staff just great job by them. Great job by the players to be able to get the call in there quickly, mix in some pressure, mix in some man, and then, in a gotta-have-it situation there, being able to force the quarterback into getting rid of the football.
On Friday, you had talked about the speed in which the team recovers from a good play or a bad play.
We need some work at that, everybody, me included, starting with me. That's just, I'm proud to, keep coaching these guys, and we'll respond. But I think, we can focus on that, just the speed in which we recover, and just these are long games, and, they're decided by a few plays. So, in the end, we made a couple more than they did.
Drew, final question?
Mike, you talked about the joy of the game. How difficult was it in the locker room after, just because of Jared going down, Bill going down, and it was kind of a tough day physically for a lot of you guys?
Injuries, we talk about it, part of the game, but we were able to, share some time with Jelani back home, and so that was cool. And again, we'll look to rejoin him here shortly. So I think that was the biggest thing. We'll get those guys back from injury, however it is. Our staff will do a great job. Players will work hard. So got to be ready to go. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. I'm pretty sure of that.
Final question?
They don't have any.
All right, that was Mike Vrabel at the press conference. Mike Vrabel's press conference is powered by Oakers Technologies. Our coach knows a winning playbook is the key to success. And when it comes to your company's technology, the Oakers playbook has been unstoppable for over 100 years. Happy Thanksgiving from Oakers, proud partner of your New England Patriots. The other big takeaway, Joe, we talked earlier in this season about the Patriots' identity. And thankfully, they found it, okay? And it's great. Dynamic downfield passing plays of Drake May and the offense and guys getting open and making big chunk yardage. The problem is that's unavailable down by the goal line, okay? And they don't have an identity down by the goal line, okay? They have an overall identity, which is good, and we've appreciated that. Down by the goal line, they've got nothing. Have had issues all year running it. The play calling has been problematic, and if you want to talk about Josh McDaniels, that's where I would start. And they don't have a great identity down inside the 10-yard line, and that showed up big time today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got bailed out on a call, on a holding on a fourth down to only get the ball back again to not score. Oh. And you should have settled for 3. They didn't, but being consistent, they were aggressive once again, right? They got conservative late, and if you think about it, they kind of needed that field goal here and that obviously that defensive drive. But I'm the guy that complains about Josh McDaniels all the time. But how do you take the ball out of Drake May's hands when you're on the goal line? Mm-hmm. The word quarterback means 4 runners, the 4th runner. Like, let him run the football. And the only thing I could think of was, are they worried about his health? Like, the guys were dropping like flies, et cetera, et cetera. It's inexcusable there.
Yeah.
They tried a weak tush push.
Oh,
weak.
Touch that. Yeah, that wasn't
weak
a push. That was
it's
impatient.
Just today they had an opportunity multiple times to take a double-digit lead and literally step on the Bengals. And instead they played with their food. And it makes them look beatable. It makes them look beatable. Did they get to everything you said? In general, this team, with the new roster and the injuries they're facing, they went on the road today and won a game and closed it out. Right? They're now won 9 games in a row. That's good. But long term, when you play better teams, you're not going to get away with that. You're just not. That's a takeaway. They struggle in the red zone, whether it's defensively or offensively.
Correct. There's a lot of places to go here. Me personally, inside the 5-yard line, I detest shotgun, especially inside the 2-yard line. I hate shotgun. Now, the Patriots for years have had a lot of success. They used to love to do that fake snap to like Kevin Falk or somebody like that, and they would find success doing that. Maybe a draw play every so often, but by and large, I don't want you. I want you to be able to run the football, or I like a play action pass, or I like even more so a play action rollout, especially when you have a quarterback like Drake May. You said it. Why would you not try to be a little bit more creative if you're going to run it? Use May. If you are going to be in the shotgun, use him. Get him in space and try to run with him. If he takes a little bit of a hit, that's fine. He's big. He can handle it. They didn't do anything well enough inside the 5 or 10-yard line today offensively, for sure. I lost track of how many plays they had down there, and they didn't score 11 plays, and they got 3 points, 11 plays or something inside the 5-yard, inside the 10-yard line. They got 3 points.
And 2 timeouts.
And 2 timeouts wasted. I mean, you have time to talk about it, and they didn't manage those well. And defensively, Joe, we know they've had issues in the red zone defensively. I've come to understand, a nice stop at the end there, this is a professional defense. Now, it'll be interesting to see when it matters and when the playoffs roll around, if that's what burns them. This is not some dynamic defense that has a nickname and is really ferocious. That's not what this is. They're a professional defense, and I like that. I can ride with that, especially when you have Drake May and a pretty good or prolific offense. That works. When you have games like today against a team that's severely banged up, it doesn't work as well. It's a professional defense, and I give them credit. So good for them in that regard, because I like that, and I think that's a good thing for this unit, this team. But they're not dynamic. They're not going to They're not going to dominate an offense. They're not going to just shut someone down completely, and that's why you can put yourself at risk if you're bad in the red zone or have a up and down day offensively.
Or turnovers.
And
And they had one of those as well. I would pose this to you, Mark, and our callers. Are you happy where they're at as far as 10 wins, on their way to an AFC East championship and fighting for the number 1 seed? Like, are you happy about that and on that side of the fence? Or are you looking at it differently as maybe the schedule is a little bit of fool's gold? They are beating who's in front of them. They are a first-year program under Mike Vrabel. Now we're starting to see, can they play through adversity? Like Milton Williams was out today, they won, but Chase Brown ran all over him. And that's the first time they've had a running back do that this year, if you think about it. So I'm curious what side of the fence people are on, because you can look at it and say, oh man, they can't win without a left tackle, right? They're left or right, left guard, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is this a first year thing where they've won 10 games and we should be happy with it? Or are you looking at this team as a true Super Bowl contender, and now today maybe that they dropped a little bit based off their roster because they weren't deep to begin with?
We're going to get to that, and that's a great question. My initial thought on that question, Joe, would be I'm more concerned about the defense. Now, obviously, with these injuries, other stuff comes into play. But if you want to talk about fool's gold, and that's been out there, that's been a narrative that's been associated with the Patriots, if you want to talk about that, I'm a little bit more concerned with the defense and their ability to hang if it's a playoff situation or you're going against one of the top quarterbacks in the league that's really playing well. I think Drake May is legit. Obviously, I think he can score even going up against – he's gone up against some of the top defenses, and he's produced. I wonder, though, if they get off schedule, can this defense find a way to help get them back on schedule? I'm not saying they can't. I just don't know if they've been tested in that regard as ferociously or as they just haven't faced some of those teams that maybe can apply that type of pressure week in and week out or multiple weeks in a row.
May I just say the defense only gave up 13 points today.
And look at the numbers. If you told me before the game, Joe Flacco, 183 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think they roll.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They're a professional defense. But I wonder, I don't think the team is fool's gold. Like, I don't think Drake May is going to just cower because they're playing, the Eagles or something.
Do you think he was affected by it?
By what?
Some of the stuff that he looked rattled early on. I don't want to use the word rattled. He didn't look himself.
He looked unrecognizable.
Yes.
No, I don't know.
Because he wasn't rattled. He bounced back.
Yeah.
He wasn't rattled.
Was it the breakup in routine? And the layoff, they had the extra time. Are they rusty? I don't know. I mean, some of those the pick six was completely inexplicable.
Who did he throw it to?
That was complete. The guy was open. He floated it. It was like he was concussed or something. It didn't even make sense. Well, maybe he'll talk about that. We're going to hear from Drake May coming up. We're going to get to your calls. You can watch us on YouTube. 617-779-0985 is the phone number. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub, Patriots Radio Network.
Credit unions, kids at heart.
Runs to the left. Pop Douglas motions right to left, fake to him. May is back to pass pressure. Moves up off balance, throw wide open left side. Hunter Henry all alone to waltz into the end zone and leap with a spike. Touchdown, Patriots!
That's it. Touchdown right here would get you feeling good. And there you go, high fives in the owner's box. Man, did they blow coverage here with Hunter Henry. It's a double fake with Pop Douglas, then the back. But the quarterback with a great off-platform throw again, where he's not looked good up to this point. Finally gets a couple underneath throws going, and he's moving forward and then finds Hunter at the last second, gives him a great catchable ball, double play fake, and he is off platform here, throws a dime, touchdown. We're back.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. Drive the Game is brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. We'll help you manage life's storms. That was Hunter Henry on the 28-yard touchdown pass from Drake May. 9 plays, 70 yards, 4 minutes and 43 seconds. And, Joe, that was one of the goods of the game today. That was a nice play. May manipulating the pocket a little bit, got some pressure, threw it under pressure on the run, not on the run, but while moving, hit Henry perfectly, and that was an easy touchdown. Pitch and catch.
Henry had a great day. 7 receptions. They tried. He caught another one, but there was the pick play, if you remember, by Hollins. They tried a pitch play where he was down just before the goal line. He had a huge day. He helped out blocking. They needed him. Moses went down for a period of time, but they were going to both tight ends. May's really good on the run, and some of the defenses I saw today, there were blitzes from the outside, like on Vidarian Lowe's side, for example, when he was in the game. Complete clear blitz on the outside, nobody there. I do think there was some sort of change in the approach to defend May. Normally they play the zone because they're worried about the run. Today it didn't seem like they were worried. They kind of wanted him to run because they had a guy right there waiting for him. So maybe that was part of the early jitters there, but that's why the tight ends were working, because he couldn't truly throw the deep ball today.
All right, let's go to the phones. Bob is in Hampton Beach. He'll lead us off. Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up, guys? You guys are talking about the defense when it matters. I mean, it matters now. I mean, we're trying to get in the best place we can to get for the playoffs. I mean, we're 10-2 now. You've won 8 in a row. It's looking like everything goes through Foxborough again. Drake May. I just say Drake May. Don't get caught up with a stoner like Cam Newton. Don't let him get in your head, running his mouth. I thought Drake May came out a little slow today, but he recovered when the time came. But you're going now. The Giants are coming to Foxborough. You're 11-2. You're going to be 11-2. Then you get a bye. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas, guys. Have a great show, man.
All right, thanks, Bob. Listen, what did you make of the whole thing before the game where he was practicing the celebration? I'm assuming you saw that he was practicing the celebration, but didn't want to do the Superman. Was that a dig?
Yeah.
Little subtle thing of Cam Newton? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Hey,
Good, Joe. I'm happy he did that.
Mark Dondero, if you called me a liar, I would be out, like, literally in my robe, being like, I am not a liar. I would run out there. So, you know what?
That was Stephen A., wasn't it?
Listen, it's about the game today, but was he petty about it? I wouldn't call it petty, but Stephon Diggs did the handshake and he tried to do the Superman and he just shook his head no.
Hell no.
No, hell no. And they're supposed to be boys. Like, there's a lot there. My only real takeaway is, did it affect him? Was there pressure going into it? And early on, he didn't look right. I'm not blaming that. I'm just saying these things can happen.
Well, I mean, he did, and not to get into the weeds on fashion, he did come into the stadium with a statement, a Nike, it looked like a customized Nike sweatshirt with a statement on it about being a blessing or something.
Blessing.
I mean, that makes it, I'm not commenting on the message, but I'm just saying that makes me think he was kind of referring to all the chatter in the narrative this week, no? Or no?
I think it was a message. Mike Reese even wrote it, right? One of the guys. I mean, listen, guys just wear what they wear. We don't look at any messaging or anything like that. It was tweeted out as a message.
Yeah.
So maybe there was something to it there. But
I felt like he heard the noise and was responding to the noise.
I think Stephon Diggs was responding to him too, though. Okay. Like doing that, I feel like that's him kind of picking him up too.
Good.
And by the way, he had some really good third down catches today, Steph Diggs.
Yep, that was big. Steve is in Walpole. Hey, Steve.
Shit, man.
Hey, Steve.
Gotta be ready, boys.
Another thing I wanted to say about Drake May that I think is interesting, Joe. The thing about May and how he bounces back in the midst of some struggles, I feel like this is unlike anything we've ever seen, and that includes Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady, obviously, we don't even need to talk about Tom Brady and how good he was and productive and all those things, and he would be able to come back in his own way. But May, the way he can create these chunk plays and throw that ball down the field, he could have so many bad plays, and he can erase 2 or 3 of them in one throw because he's able to get these big plays to happen. And I feel like that's not the way Tom Brady did it. Tom Brady, he would struggle, and then he would figure it out and then just dominate the rest of the game. And he wouldn't make any more mistakes. I feel like for May, it's a little different. He could be a little bit inconsistent. He could make a mistake, come back, make a great play, make another mistake, but then he comes back and makes another great play. And it keeps him in games. It erases some of the mistakes very quickly because he doesn't have to rely on the dink and dunk and death by 1,000 paper cut approach. And I feel like that's a big part of what Drake May is and what his identity is. He can erase bad plays because he can create big plays. I'm not going to say effortlessly, but very frequently. He can do it. And I think that's a big reason why the Patriots can get back on schedule when they do get off schedule.
Yeah, how about the out of the half, the third down deep ball to Demario Douglas, right? It was a great catch by Douglas. Then they went to an end around there. They kind of needed that spark from Douglas there, but there's the deep ball. To your point, back into the near their end zone, and he throws a deep ball and easily gets out of the situation, and they put themselves in a scoring position. There are a couple of things, though, that I do think they went away from today.
Yep.
And I'll keep saying the Bengals were the worst rushing defense in football. And you only gave Henderson 18 carries, who had 66 yards, by the way, which is almost 4 yards a carry. And Ramondre Stevenson, 6 for 5. It wasn't working with Ramondre today.
Not at all.
So why give him 6? It just wasn't working, and they did not go outside, if you think about it. Everything was through the tackle. It bothered me.
Tim is in Miami. Hey, Tim.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just a quick comment on the game, and then I want to respond to Joe's question he asked before the break. People are going to probably complain about how they look today. Not every game is going to be a masterpiece that you hang in a museum. You know, you're going to have games where your quarterback is throwing pick sixes, your O-line's dropping like flies. Guess what? Bad teams lose those games. You won this game because you're good. You should feel good about coming out of Cincinnati with a win. And on Joe's question about are you satisfied with where they are, if you told me before the season with where we've been the last 5 years and how miserable it's been to be a Pats fan, we'll have 10 wins, we'll have a franchise quarterback, we'll have the coach of the year, Will Campbell can play, our receivers who we thought were terrible are not only good, but they're explosive, and our defense is near the top of the league in points allowed, sign me up.
I just think that's the biggest takeaway is what Tim said, what I said. It was just these games are going to happen. It's not like he said. The caller was right. They're not every game is going to be a masterpiece, and the fact that they were able to find ways to win. And I'll say this about the defense: in addition to them being a professional unit, they do make some timely plays, some timely stops. I thought, if we're talking about some ups in this game, I thought Carlton Davis was excellent today, by and large. I thought he was good today. And that's, I haven't said that week in and week out, obviously, about Davis, but I thought today he was maybe even better than Christian Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah. Gonzalez gave up the touchdown at the end. And by the way, I think he was covering T. Higgins early on.
Yeah.
So
he gave up some plays. So it was, I'm just saying he was a disaster, but I thought
Davis has been
he made some good
today.
Plays today. He
made a nice little play at the end of the game, too.
Yep.
Him and Marcus Jones.
2 nice
had a
plays.
pick six.
He dove and made that play, and then he at the end there where Zoe didn't know if it was a penalty. I didn't think it was a penalty. He ended up breaking up that pass, and there were some plays earlier in the game where he was in position and got it done. So that's what you signed up the guy for. He got it done today. And that's what the Patriots needed, especially when they had guys going out, and we're going to get into the injuries and all those things as we go forward, because this was a costly win, despite the fact it was their 9th in a row. We're going to hear from Drake May when we get back, but before we do that, let's pause 10 seconds. Joe Murray is going to come back, and he's...
Down the middle, and it's caught by a sliding receiver outside the 40-yard line. And then Bob Douglas is thrown to the turf as he made that catch, running down the middle, was on the turf, and then was picked up and body slammed to the field.
That's
kind of play that drew a personal foul on the Jets 2 Thursdays ago.
This is a big-time MVP throw right here. Now, the middle backer doesn't carry pop. It's underneath coverage. You actually get contact. Pop catches it sliding. Now, he wasn't down. He got up and started to run, so I think that's why he got the tackle.
All right, back on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. New England converted 21 first downs today, and with every first down, Credit Union's Kids at Heart funds promising studies into new treatments for pediatric brain diseases. Learn more at cukidsatheart.org. And that was the big throw and catch Drake made at Pop Douglas. Unbelievable throw, great catch. Pop Douglas in that moment, back-to-back plays there, producing for the Patriots. 37 yards on that throw and catch from Drake May to Pop Douglas. And speaking of Drake May, let's go to the Drake May press conference brought to you by your Chevrolet dealers.
How much of a grind was that? And physically, you were okay the entire game? That looked like kind of maybe shaking your hand early after you hit that helmet on one of your throws. What was it like for you today and to grind through it as a team?
Yeah, that's what this league's about. Battling adversity. I gave him one early in the game, just battling back that next drive, and I'm just trying to be that next play mentality. That's what coach is preaching all the time. Is battling back from good plays, battling back from bad plays, and proud of our defense for stepping up. They stepped up big time, and like I said, it's next men up. We got a lot of guys come in and play, make plays, and help us out. So just proud of them, and just good to get a win and good to get that 10th win.
How emotional was it to see both Jared and Will go down and get carted off and what they were going through?
Man, I love those guys, man. It's they're gonna be all right. I think that's the big thing about those guys. They're gonna work hard and they're gonna be back, and they've done such a good job for us this year, man. I love those guys. Will and Jared, they've been meant a lot to me. I've got to know them in different ways, and it hurts. It's disappointing, man. But hey, that's this game. That's that's life, and they'll bounce back and help us down the road.
Football's such an emotional game, and then you get the guys going down. Mike Grable talked about being with Jelani in the FaceTime in the locker room. How would you sort of describe your emotions right now with everything that happened?
Yeah, you feel empty. You're playing so hard for everybody around you. Thoughts of Jelani and what he's going through. Love Jelani, and I think, like you said, there's so many different things. Different things coming at you, and that's what's cool about this game. Such a team sport. So many guys rally around to play for each other, play for one another. Laugh and create good times, and realize how blessed we are, and thank the good Lord for just giving a chance to play this game and go out there and battle.
Drake, it seemed like a sense of pressure from the secondary acting today. Was that at all surprising to see them put you a little bit like that?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think they had they had some good stuff that I didn't do the right thing and didn't get us in the right look. So I got to be better. Got to be better at the line of scrimmage. Got to be better. Credit to them for catching us some. And like I said, I think I do my part and help us play cleaner football and punch it down there in the red zone. And I take that to heart, and I'm gonna be better.
Did you feel like the ball was coming out differently on some of the misses earlier in the game?
Not that I can think of. Sometimes just not trusting it and just gotta let it go. That's when I'm throwing it best and on time and feeling the best. So I know I wasn't very accurate early on, and found a groove, and just head back to the basics.
What enabled you to find Hunter so often today, and how big was he for you, and coming through time to time?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it's a new guy every week. It could be since whatever week with Hunter, stepping up, and he's a great player in this league. Him and Hoop, they give us a 1-2 punch at the tight end position to run the football, be in the passing game. They do a great job, and Hunter, he's Mr. Consistent. He's every week.
When you aren't as accurate as you usually are, does it feel strange to you? Do you wonder what's going on here?
No, just get back to the little things, the fundamentals, and got to get another throw and just get a live rep to get back on it, and you feel fine. So it's one of the things that happens, and I think I don't really think it's a big deal. I think just got to get back in the groove.
Final question. Drake, you had referred to the offensive line, I think, as the heartbeat of the team recently, just with Jared and Will going out, just sort of what do you know about that group that makes you feel like?
Yeah, I think they have a lot of fun in that room. They care for each other. They're always laughing and hanging out. They hang outside of football. They go do things. They're just a tight knit group, and I'm proud to be the one behind the center with those guys, and just credit to them for showing up every week and coming in here. You had I think Ben Brown came in, Velo came in, Marcus Bryant came in for a little bit, so those guys are just ready to go, and I'm just proud to have those guys blocking for me. Thank you.
All right, Drake May's press conference is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado, where dependability comes standard. I didn't like the demeanor there, Joe, when it came to the injuries. Damn it.
I think he said, hopefully help us out down the road.
Down the road.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Don't like the road.
Just an update on that. Jared Wilson spotted in the locker room with a walking boot and a crutch. So if it's, speculating here, but Milton Williams missed 4 games with a high ankle sprain. If it's something to that degree, could he miss that type of time too? Let's not forget, they play on Monday Night Football, then have a bye week, then the Bills.
I actually think it was obviously a small sample. I didn't think Vidarian Lowe was bad today when they brought him in. I thought Drake May on the last couple drives had really good protection in certain spots. A couple of those plays, that third down to Diggs that he connected with Diggs on, great protection on that play. There were a couple plays where he had great protection, but this is a problem. And this is going to be, if they lost Will Campbell for the season, Joe, that's a big problem. So that's disappointing. But this is the league, and that's what Drake May said. And, the coaching staff they've been, I feel like, one step ahead most of the year, and you're going to have to lean on all that intellect and all that, on that know-how if they're going to overcome a loss like that. Let's go to Jason in Derry, New Hampshire. Hey, Jason.
How you guys doing? There's some major issues with the decision makers. Obviously, the left side of our line went out on carts today. At the trade deadline, nobody thought it was a good idea to maybe get a little help. But Darian Lowe is the backup? How is he still on the team? That guy's awful. 2 years ago in the draft, Drake May's the only guy we have out of that draft. There's nothing left. That's going to be the worst draft of all time. Nothing to pull from the cupboard. Free agency, we spend all the money on the defense. Could have brought somebody in. What year of the program are we actually trying to win it? What year of the program are we going to shut the O-line to? I think this is ridiculous.
I can't disagree with any of that. I don't think Vidarian Lowe is good enough. It's fine you put him in for one game. I can't imagine that I'm going to feel good about him being at left tackle. And where they really, and the caller just alluded to it, where they really, really got hurt, Joe, guys like Layden Robinson and Caden Wallace not even being able to be on an NFL roster.
They still have Wallace, but
he's not a factor.
Yeah, he's not a factor at all. He's inactive for 12 straight games.
He's not a factor. They need those guys. I don't need to be all pros or Pro Bowl, but just be able to get on the field. That would have been a great spot for a guy like that out of the draft last year that has a little bit of experience now, and he's nowhere to be found.
Well, I'll just say this, Mark. For all the talk of the short arms that Will Campbell had, Vidarian Lowe has very long arms.
Good. That's good.
Hope that makes you feel better for next week.
Susan is in Worcester. Hey, Susan.
Hi. I'd just like to say one thing to you. I know you feel that way, but I am so cringy. I feel like I could. When you mentioned Drake May with Tom Brady, he's a winner. You people have to understand he's having a good year, great year, I'll say, because to make you happy. He has to win a playoff game. He's got to win a couple of Super Bowls to be put in with Brady. And you guys already have every team stinking up the joint. Every team you talk about, they can beat them. Well, we'll see you got to do it, on the real field here.
Well, Susan,
I don't think
Susan, they play the teams that are on the schedule and they beat them. They stunk today and they still beat them.
Look, I'm going to just say this. I don't want to hear from you. I'm allowed to mention Drake May's name and Tom Brady's name in the same, vein. I'm not saying there's a comparison. I'm not saying he's the next Brady. I'm not saying that's not what I did. I just said the way that they come back, the way that they bounce back is different. Drake May leans on the chunk plays, and he makes it happen. He makes those plays. Brady didn't always necessarily get the chunk plays. He could sometimes, but he just executed with perfection and eliminated all mistakes. That's what made him great. I'm just saying they're different. I hate that.
I don't. In Miss Who Called, the only comparisons are what we've seen. Like I mentioned the word rattled earlier, Mark. We've seen Mac Jones rattled. Like we know what rattled is, right?
Yes, yeah.
So when I say that he's got composure like a Brady, where it's not like a Mac Jones, it's the only thing we can compare things to. So God forgive us. Please give us a break if we do mention things to past Patriots teams, because that's all we have to compare.
We're allowed to say, you're allowed to compare people to Tom Brady. I can compare, you're over 6 feet, Tom Brady's over 6 feet. I'm not allowed to do that?
I mean, yeah, he likes avocado ice cream. I like regular ice cream.
Okay.
No, but where I'm going with it is this. We've saw the greatest football of all time here, right? We've seen the greatest football ever played. Sometimes when it gets close to that, it's okay to at least compare the two. It's okay.
Yeah, and I just think they both, May early on has shown an ability to shake off bad plays and erase bad plays without getting the Patriots into a deep hole that they can't get out of. Okay, Mac Jones, for example. We can do it this way, too. Mac Jones.
Yes,
if Mac Jones started to wobble or had a bad play, he didn't have the ability, the talent to get it all back. He would have to have more like, a guy that was great between the ears and have to be excellent executing, play in and play out to get it all back. He couldn't just do it on 2 throws like Drake May seems to be able to do. So it's different, and I think May's big playability. Look, you know this, Joe. We all know this. When you can make big plays, that takes some pressure off the offense because you don't have to execute perfectly every play to get down the entire field where you have to convert 4, 5, 6 third downs and be precise on every read because you can take a lot of the yardage away on just one throw. That's the great thing about being able to make big plays. So, he's not Brady. He doesn't execute at the level of Tom Brady, but he makes a lot of big plays. So he doesn't have to execute as many plays as Brady did because he can make. And I think that's a big part of his identity, and it's also what they don't have available to them in the red zone offensively, and that hurts them. Greg Bedard is going to join us a little after 5:30. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Their offense right now is not feeling it.
Or Joe Murray. Patriots get the win 26-20. And they suffer the loss of, at least for this game, 2 of the linemen. And we were just talking off the air, Joe. It's a tough spot. It's going to hurt. And now I don't know where they go in terms of depth on the left side of that line. That's going to be hard.
All right, let's have a tough conversation here. I think Wilson's going to miss some time, but if he's in a boot and in the locker room, it's more probable than not he will be he's probably close, meaning probably not done for the year, but we'll find out tomorrow, right? Not seeing Will Campbell, that's not good. Being carted off, towel over his head. Let's say it's a knee, ACL, lower leg, whatever. This thing takes a year or so to come back from. We're in almost December. This could be your fourth overall pick? Is that what they got? Fourth. He could be done for the rest of this year and next year.
Well, I mean, I'm not willing to.
I'm putting it out there right now.
Okay. Here's the problem.
I'm just saying they might have to put more into that line, and maybe they knew they had to do that anyways.
We have seen in the past, and obviously Cole Strange I don't think it was an ACL, but it was a knee. And he was out for a really long time. Never got his career back on track, if at all. If it ever was on track. Yeah, whatever. So that was an extended absence. We've seen linemen, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you would know more than me, play on a torn ACL at points, or stay in the game, or put a brace on it or something. All I know is if he's out this year, I'm thinking about this year, and this year they had something going, and it just sucks that he appears to be out down the road. We'll talk to him down the road, see him down the road. That really stinks because he was putting together a productive rookie season at left tackle with Drake May, and they really had generated a little bit of a rapport there, and it's just not what you want to see, obviously. Scott's in the car. Hey, Scott.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Thanks for taking my call. I can't believe, during an 8-2 team, nobody says anything about making a trade. Just backup players. We weren't looking to trade a first or second round pick. We're just looking for somebody to back somebody up. They don't even do that. They traded away Keon White. How big is that today?
Well, I didn't think that was big at all.
This was the point that I made. I did not want them to go break the bank for some game changer and give away first round assets and stuff like that. But I would have liked some depth. A guy that could come in and pop. I forget what his name was 10 years ago. Akeem Ayers.
Oh, Akeem
was
Ayers.
That a guy?
Big guy.
Yeah,
Front.
Somebody like
Ted
that.
Washington years before they got in a trade at one point. Huge players.
Yeah, just somebody that could come in and maybe step up in a moment.
Mark Anderson.
Sure.
They've had all these other guys that just fit in.
That would have been a nice thing to have at running back or at tackle or, somewhere on the line. I don't understand. They had 6-round picks to give away. It felt like the opportunity and the reason to go do something like that, and they just didn't want to do it. And now here we are. But yeah, I feel good about where they are overall. It was a mess today in spots, but overall, you still got to feel great. They sort of spoiled us for a few weeks there, Joe. You still have to feel great about where they are.
This is what my question is today. Do you feel like this is year one of a successful campaign, or is it more that you're disappointed on where they could go from here? And it might be a little bit of both, but for the most part here, I still think Mike Vrabel getting 10 wins in his first season, this is the third time that's happened in a first year in Patriots history. That's a good thing. Drake May playing at an MVP level is a good thing. By the way, does that change today? Did Drake May's performance today change his MVP odds?
Yeah, that wasn't an MVP performance. I didn't think it was an MVP. It was a good win. I thought he did some nice things, but if you're talking MVP, I wouldn't add to his campaign based on what he did today. Susan's in New Hampshire. Hey, Susan.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I think the Patriots needed to have a game like that. When they jumped offside.
That was a bad play. On a fourth down, Chase on comes off sides. Come on, dude. They weren't ready. They didn't get off the bus today in that game.
4th
early.
and 5. Like, you know what they're trying to do in that situation. No, we all knew it. The announcers knew it. Everyone watching knew it, except for Chason. He's been good for them, but that was not a good moment. Look, again, I think part of it is they spoiled us. You're just not going to get the masterpiece every week. And I would have felt better if this was a 3-7 team that had their guys and it wasn't a bunch of backups and Joe Burrow wasn't playing and Jamar Chase wasn't playing. And they were just 3-7, but they still found a way with the guys that were out there to make enough plays to get the win. And now after what the Giants did today, I think they're going to have another test. We'll see who plays quarterback in a week or so. They're going to have another test on Monday night. They're going to get back home, and we'll see if they can start a little faster, both offensively and defensively, because they were both really bad at the beginning of the game in this one. So the Patriots find a way, and despite not playing well, and maybe they did need a game like this, despite not playing well, they were able to figure out a way to get the win on the road and make it to 10 wins already. So that's a good thing, but there's certainly plenty to comb over, and we're going to do that here as we continue on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. We're going to do that coming up with Greg Bedard, but first, let's get headlines from Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots 26-20 winners in Cincinnati today. Drake May 294 yards passing through a touchdown pass to Hunter Henry, who had 7 receptions and 115 yards. They got a pick 6 from Marcus Jones. The team did lose rookies Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. Wilson seen in the locker room with a walking boot.
1-yard line as May fitted in amidst 3 Bengal defenders.
Off the back foot. Homeboy's in rhythm right now, man. Drake May starting to find himself. That's a nice back shoulder throw with converging safeties. Underneath and over the top are right there. But Hooper up that left vertical. Patriots are rolling.
20 Market Patriots post-game show with 22 completions by the Patriots today. Catches Law donates another $100 for every reception. So if it's 25 catches, it'd be $2,500. $2,200 after the 22 completions today, which brings the catches for college season total to $25,300. The Catches Cares Scholarship ensures financial hurdles will not prevent students from pursuing their dreams. And with that, we welcome in Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal after this Patriots 26-20 win in Cincinnati. And Greg, we'll get you in on the question that we've been asking, been throwing out there the whole show. The Patriots obviously did not play well at times in this game, but found a way to get a win. Was it more good or was it more bad today based on what you saw?
I thought it was more bad in this circumstance. I mean, look, they had to overcome some injuries, which is part of the deal. I thought that it looked like Vidarian Lowe and Ben Brown did, a solid job in replacement. But you look at a lot of the stats in this game. This should not have been a game. I mean, it was a game because, Drake May was not good to start this game through the pick six. I thought they sort of bungled the end of the first half. And then they only got 3 points out of 12 plays from inside the Bengals' five-yard line in goal-to-goal situations. I mean, if they manage those situations better, this is not a game. It shouldn't have been a game. It's only because it only was a game and they had to sort of hold on for dear life at the end due to self-inflicted wounds. And so this one, while it's good to learn lessons when you're winning, and that's good, the Patriots put themselves in that position today.
Greg, I've been asked to bring up the injury bug. Sounds like you might have floated it out there this week. Are you
No. Hang on. Just
yes, please correct it, please.
First of all, I've been saying it for weeks, not this week. And somebody actually asked Rabel a question on Friday about how healthy they've been. So I think that's what he was.
And I think in the post game, he made a comment about the media or reporters.
Oh, he definitely.
You should go listen to that.
He definitely did.
No, I heard it.
All right.
Yeah, I heard it.
Well, anyways, do you have confidence that they can still maintain the success with the injuries they have?
Yeah, relatively. It depends how many more they get and where. But unless you were living in some sort of dream bubble, this was going to happen at some point to the Patriots. They had been extremely lucky with injuries. Sometimes that holds for a whole season. A lot of times it doesn't. I agree with Vrabel when he said, I don't think anybody's going to feel sorry for us. I mean, you just look at the Bengals on the other side with, they haven't had their quarterback since the middle of week 2. Along with, Chase was his own doing, Trey Hendrickson, Cam Taylor-Britt, all these guys, the injuries on the offensive line. And, it's time for the Patriots to deal with it like everybody else does. I do think that, I think Ben Brown is really solid. I think you can make the argument that you're not going to lose really anything by Ben Brown substituting in for Jared Wilson. Obviously, Vidarian Lowe for Will Campbell is something different, but something they're going to have to manage. Josh McDaniels has a lot of experience doing that, has had to do it here in the past. I think that as opposed to, I know a lot of people are going to have PTSD about hearing Vidarian Lowe being left tackle, but I think people need to leave aside what happened last year under those coaches, under an offensive coordinator who did not prioritize protecting the quarterback. Josh McDaniels always starts there with his passing concepts and what he's going to do in the game. I think him and Drake May have both made the offensive line look a lot better than it is in terms of pass protection due to that. And so he's going to continue to need to do it. I don't love the drop off. I thought Will Campbell was their best sort of nasty run blocker. They don't have nearly enough of that. So that's going to be a loss, but they can manage these losses on the offensive line.
All right, well, dadgummit, Greg Bedard bringing a little positivity there. Makes me feel a little bit better about Vidarian Lowe, even though I still don't feel good about Vidarian Lowe. I do want to ask about one thing, Greg, that just was borderline. I mean, it wasn't good. It was borderline a disaster today, and that was the offense in the goal-to-go area down by the goal line. What happened, and what can they do to fix that? Because to me, it looks like they don't really have an identity or really know what they want to try to be in that spot.
It's a good question. It's something that as soon as we're done, I'm going to go look at a little bit more closely because I have a lot of questions about that as well. I mean, the bottom line is, I think Vrabel wants to be a physical team. They need to be a physical team to finish off some of these games, to win in the cold weather. You got to be able to run the ball inside the 5-yard line. You just have to. And the Patriots, I think we've talked about this earlier where, even the starting offensive line that they had, you look at that group across the board, and outside of probably Will Campbell, there aren't a whole lot of glass eaters up there, guys who are just, going to out-physical the other team. I think they're being out-physicaled up front, and it's starting to show up actually in the run defense as well on that side. And so the fix, I don't know. I mean, I think they are holding, Mark, I think they're holding in their back pocket sort of more RPO, Drake May run game. I don't think they want to use that until they need to. Mm-hmm. And against teams like the Jets and the Browns, it's not a time to do that. Maybe against the Bills and the Ravens coming up because they haven't really shown that on film. I think they could definitely use it. I think they will use it. It's something they worked on this summer in training camp. So I expect to see that at some point. I would really like to see them get a real fullback, a real physical fullback to sort of insert in there to help out the offensive line. I'm not holding my breath that that's going to happen. But I think they're gonna have to get better. They're gonna have to revamp how they do things, think about how they do things. They're not good in short yardage, and they need to get a lot better.
Hey, Greg, just real quick, where should fans be right now? Because we're getting conflicting reports of down the road compared to now, but this is a first-year program. Mike Vrabel got 10 wins, which is great, right? I mean, they're obviously progressing and getting better every week.
Yep.
But at the same time, you look ahead here, and now there's injuries approaching, and the schedule will get tougher down the line here. Where do you think the Patriots are at? Are they looking at it as it's their first year and they're trying to get better every week, or will they start to look ahead to the playoffs?
I don't think they're going to look ahead to the playoffs. I think Vrabel's pretty much established that he is just about that upcoming game, and I think that's how you need to do things. You need to focus in. I mean, are you asking me like
roster-wise,
should we change the goals for this team because they have some injuries? Or
I want, you know what, a little bit of both. Like, I'm starting to wonder, are they going to consider health? I think they did with Booty and Stevenson over the last couple of weeks, but down the line now, are they probably going to work on Vidarian Lowe on Monday Night Football and then the bye week if Campbell's out, et cetera, et cetera? Like, could they start to play it as they want to protect guys to be ready for the playoffs?
I think they'll keep the long game in mind. I mean, I don't have any news on those injuries, but just from listening to Drake May and the emotion that he talked with, it didn't sound good. I don't know if it was about both of them or just Will Campbell, but it didn't sound like a short-term be back anytime soon. But I'm sure they're going to have to wait for the MRIs and all that stuff. And, these guys, the good thing going for you guys with both Campbell and Wilson is that they're really young. And those guys have a tendency to come back quickly and show like amazing resiliency with their joints and things like that. So maybe there will be good news in the coming days on those fronts. But, I think they're just going to, if a guy's cleared, he's going to play. I don't think those guys, maybe they held him out a little bit longer to be sure. But I think I'm not changing anything about this team. I mean, this team, provided Drake May doesn't come out many more times and sort of sleepwalk through the first, quarter plus and throw a pick six and not hit, the broadside of a barn for a while in this game. Provided he doesn't do that and, the defense stays relatively healthy, you get Milton Williams back, I think, and how there's no dominating team in the AFC, I think everything is still on the table for this team.
All right, more from Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal when we get back, including I want to ask him specifically about the defense and how he thinks they're playing right now, where they stack up in terms of being a strength of this team. We're going to do that when we get back. Next on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5, the Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network. I want to talk about the defense, Greg, and just get your perspective on how they play as a unit, because I kind of dubbed them earlier in the show as a professional group. When I watch them, it doesn't feel like they're about to just completely shut down and dominate the opposing offense, but they get it done. They make plays. They're timely. They can make some clutch stops. I really like the unit, and I'm wondering what your overall perspective is on them, and if they have what it takes defensively to go where you want to go, at least make a run in the playoffs.
So I'll start with, I don't disagree with your overall opinion that they're, professional and do a good job. I would agree with that. I think they do execute at, a pretty high level. I get frustrated at times with their zone coverage. From what I see today, they played zone coverage 76% of the time, which was the highest rate since the Browns game. I don't think they're very good in zone coverage, especially in the middle of the field. I don't think it plays to their talent. But, of course, you get into a situation where you might have three good man cornerbacks, Gonzalez and Davis and Jones. But who are the other two guys manning up if you're going to play man coverage? And I think if you don't have a good answer to that, and it feels like they don't think they have a good answer to that, then you can't play as much man coverage as you want to, because I think that would be benefit. I think that would benefit, those guys in the back. I think they're better man than zone. I think the rush defense has shown some leakage. It wasn't just today. It wasn't just a Milt Williams thing. This is now 3 weeks going on now that this has happened. But I do think that overall they do a good job. I think Zach Kerr is coming up with some good play calls at the right time. You don't see quite as many busts that we saw earlier on in the season with some of that stuff. And, look, Carlton Davis and Marcus Jones made tremendous plays to knock balls away at the end of the game. So I think they work pretty well together. You could just see they're limited on edge and they're limited in zone coverage. And some teams are going to exploit that.
Greg, the chase on penalty on that fourth down, that was inexcusable if you ask me. I felt like they didn't get off the bus early. It was like the game was going on. They weren't on the field yet. Just your reaction to them I don't want to say not ready to go, but they just didn't look like the Patriots we've seen over the last 10 weeks.
Yeah, and I think there's a reason for that, Joe. And I think I brought it up towards the end of, Felger and Mass, that, one of the questions I sort of had with, this little mini bye after the Thursday night game, and then they had the bye week coming up. I mean, I think one thing they've really benefited from, especially because they were, relatively healthy, for a good portion of it, was this team that was new to each other and a lot of young guys, they were able to go for basically like 11 straight weeks of the same schedule every week. In turn, they were always together. They didn't have like a week 4 or week 5 bye where, some people are going to Cancun and things like that. These guys have been together for basically like 11 straight weeks until they got the weekend off. And I just wondered, would that throw them out of their rhythm a little bit in terms of, they're doing the same thing every week, preparing the same way, going out to dinner the same way, all that stuff. I thought it benefited them for 11 weeks, and this was going to be a new type of schedule, and how would they react to that? And I think we saw. I don't think it was very good. I'm not blaming them for anything. I don't think there's really anything you can do about it. That's just the schedule is the way the schedule is. But, hopefully they learn from this, and, when they get back from the bye week and they have 2 pretty big games against the Bills and the Ravens come up, they can't afford to, need a quarter and a half to get through their doldrums and start to play. They're going to need to start fast. Hopefully this allows them, especially with a victory, to learn those lessons now, apply them later.
I'm interested in the fact, Greg, that they've had, it feels like, it's not necessarily this case, but every week a receiver, a pass catcher, steps up, and it's never the same guy. We've had Stephon Diggs had big games. Obviously, Hunter Henry today had a big game. Do you think the fact that they have had that, where it's not always the same guy and multiple guys can step up and have big games, is that something that's going to really benefit them in a playoff situation, or would they be better off having a definitive number one and everybody sort of working underneath that guy?
I think it works to their advantage, Mark, in this respect that, you're going to get a lot of these teams, whether it's the Bills or the Ravens, the two best teams that they have left on their schedule, for example. You're going to get a lot of, cover one robbers coverage in, on third down where there's one high free safety and then you use the other safety to go and double somebody. And, a lot of times it's going to be Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs. And the Patriots would sort of, back under Belichick, they would sort of take turns who they would double, say, if they played the Chiefs, whether it was, the tight end Kelsey or Tyreek Hill or what have you. So I think it will benefit them. What is interesting, we're sort of bringing up things that sort of caught your eye. So the Patriots' wide receiver target percentage in this game was just 37%. That is the lowest of the season. They average 56% wide receiver target rate. And also in this game, I'm trying to find the stats. So the Bengals played 46% man in this game. That was the second highest total the Patriots have faced this season. Number one was the Browns. So you're just wondering, is that a bit of an issue? And I also think there was a point of emphasis because Drake May was the quarterback that checked down the least in the league, and then he's sort of done that the past couple weeks. So I think they go hand in hand.
Greg, next week, Giants, Monday Night Football. Jameis Winston threw for 366 yards today. They lost in overtime on a big run, but he kept them in the game. Do they think they stick with him or Dart? And who do you think would be more of a challenge for the Patriots?
Oh, that's a really good question. So Dart, that was a situation where Dart wasn't cleared.
Yeah, protocol. But he probably will be next week.
Yeah, he probably will. Well, I mean, I would probably be more afraid of Jameis just because his fearlessness and his ability to throw the ball down the field. I think the Giants will just put Dart back in because that's what you do. But definitely, this is a guy that you have to have a plan for his legs, like way more than Drake May. But he also gets himself into a lot of trouble. I mean, I know we all, especially me, say, hey, Drake needs to do a better job of getting rid of the ball and not taking hits. Drake May is like twice as good compared to Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, for like 45% of the pressure that he's under is his own creation because he doesn't get rid of the ball. He tries to make plays. So, and Drake May's at like 20% compared to Jackson Dart. So, definitely dangerous. I guess I'd probably want to face Jameis because I know where he's going to be in the pocket and I don't have to worry about his legs. But I think both present issues.
All right, so we'll look forward to that. That's a week from tomorrow. They're going to play Monday night at Gillette Stadium. Also look forward to Greg Bedard on Felger and Maz on Tuesday, as we always do. Greg, thanks so much for joining us here on the postgame show.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll be back with more.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Greg. We'll be back with more, but first, Joe is going to give us a headlines. Before that, though, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Safety Insurance 98.5, the Sports of Patriots Radio Network.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. WBZ-FM at HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. The media group station.
Very errant. He now turns and hands off to Henderson. Runs through the line, carries up the middle, and Travion rushes it for 8+. A run across the 38 of New England.
Interesting after that break, Mike Vrabel did not get after the offense's ass. He went down and huddled the whole defense up and had a long discussion with them. Yeah, this could be one of those things where you're sensing it early. Hey, guys, we're going to need you guys to go out and win this game today because our offense right now is not feeling it.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Unclogging the Gaps is brought to you by Eastern Mass's Drain Leader. Eastern Mass's leader in drain cleaning and pipelining, Drains by James. Slow drain, clog drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. They give a poop about your pipes. And this is what we were asking Greg about, Joe. The how they've spread the ball around offensively, and I think just this is interesting. Here are the leading receivers for the Patriots in every game this season. Okay, I'm going to rifle down the list. Booty, Stevenson, Henry, Diggs, Booty, Diggs, Hollins, Douglas, Hollins, Diggs, Henry. Every week it feels like, and these are big games. These guys, like the leading receiver usually has a big game, and they're going to when Drake May's throwing them the ball. I like it as much as you could use a number one and a bona fide, dog or whatever. I like what they are able to do here because a lot of these guys have been productive in a lot of different ways. And I think that's going to benefit them as they get into the postseason.
Oh, yeah, it's always some. Today was the tight ends, no doubt about it. Did the running backs get anything today?
Catches-wise, I can look. I didn't think they did.
And Mark, I'll say this, okay? I'm the first one to tell you that I'm not an offensive coordinator's biggest fan.
Yeah.
Do I feel that Josh McDaniels' impact this year has his fingerprints are on the success of the team? Yes. Okay? Yeah. So before the people say, Joe, you're just a hater, blah, blah, blah. Today was really questionable, right? I mean, just keeping it to the goal line itself.
Yes.
One was a pick play. It was a beautiful throw. It came back, right? Don't call the pick play. Don't call it. The push could have been stronger if they even wanted to do it. They never went outside on a pitch play. They went between the tackles constantly. I gave you the Ramondre numbers, 6 for 5. Come on.
Yeah.
It could have been better today. I really did not like they could have got a first down to seal the victory, right? They threw a pass in a double cover. Like I know it's on Drake May, but like the play's called.
Yeah.
Called pass. It wasn't great today. And Vrabel was upset. I don't know if he's upset about that or with the way they played, but he hasn't been complimentary, let's say, of McDaniels. He favors him, says, he's been a big part of it, but mentions Ashton Grant and other guys. I don't think this was McDaniels' best day on the goal line.
Certainly not. And the fact that they don't have an identity down there is inexcusable. Now, you thought maybe they could have, with Travion Henderson sort of emerging, and I thought it was interesting. He started the game today. He had the bulk of the carries, obviously. He did not have the touch inside the goal line in that goal-to-go area that he had against the Jets, where he looked like at times, I know people are going to get mad, he looked like LaDainian Tomlinson with some of his runs. I thought that maybe he could find something for the Patriots. I do put it on Josh McDaniels. They're way too far along in the season, Joe, to not have any sort of identity down by the goal line. And maybe that's not your forte. Maybe that goal to, running the ball isn't good, or you don't have the glass eaters like Greg was talking about along the offensive line. I don't care. You have Drake F. May. One of the top, he's a guy that's a quarterback and he's in the MVP discussion. You need to, by Thanksgiving, to be able to cultivate some kind of identity that works for you in the goal line, and they just haven't been able to do it. They can't run it. Now, maybe what Greg said is true. There's more RPOs that are coming or they're saving them. But this is you got nothing accomplished at this point. You need to run out some of these things you think might work. They need to have a better sense of what they're trying to do down there and implement more about with Drake May running the ball. I did think Drake May today had his best day running the ball for a month. He was good when I thought when he decided to run, he made good decisions. I like the fact that he put his head down when it was urgent, that he get the first down. I thought he just was good running the ball today. Was it his best day running the ball? Statistically, no. He had 5 runs for 22 yards. But I thought some of the runs, when he decided to run, was the right decision, and I thought he executed pretty well running the ball. But they need something in the goal line or around the goal line, and it has to be more of an identity that works. And the fact that we're at this point 12 games in and they don't have it is crazy.
I'll just tell you, I think it should be Drake May out of the shotgun with an option to run. Or the option. Do you get what I'm saying? Have him in underneath. It doesn't look great.
Yeah.
And
well, I would do that. I would put him under center because I hate being in the shotgun.
I got you.
And do play action. And even if you're not rolling out, a play action pass. I mean, drop a play. Drop a couple, plays that work. You should be able to do that.
He got his foot stepped on one play, right? But on one, my only thing is, Drake May is having an awesome year. He really is. But we're still talking about him under center struggling. We're still talking about it. So to your point, I do want him under there to get better at it. But you talk about identity, I think he could be more explosive like a Josh Allen out of the shotgun. I do.
Let's get another call, 617-779-0985. Josh is in Indiana. Hey, Josh.
Okay. Oh, my.
Josh.
Okay.
Not ready to go.
Indiana, huh? Good football team.
He wanted to know about the Colts loss. We can get into that a little bit later. I just wanted to bring up, did you think the hand thing was a big deal here, or was that something that infected him?
It's funny. I didn't hear or see anything.
I didn't see him shaking his hand.
Someone emailed and said he hit his hand.
Rochi asked about it.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He asked, it was like his first question. He didn't really say, May didn't really acknowledge much.
It was something that happened.
Something happened, yeah.
I didn't notice it, but maybe we could use that as the excuse of why he started slow. Yeah, I just thought he wasn't ready. They whatever script they had early on, it wasn't working well. Can I throw something else at you?
Yeah.
Joe Flacco versus Joe Burrow. Do you think they made the right choice not playing Burrow?
No. I think they needed to win the game.
Do they win the game if it's Joe Burrow?
Yes, that game. I think they win.
I agree with you. I've been against it all week. They win that game.
They probably win that game. And I don't know what their mathematical playoff chances are based on how the Ravens have sort of surged back.
Steelers lost today.
Ravens they would have been 4-7 if they had won that game. I just would have. You're down, if not down and out. What do you say? I know he's the franchise, but if he's ready to play, it's tough. They play on Thanksgiving, right? It's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, and he'll be playing. There's no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Flacco is 40 years old.
A lot of people thought he was going to play today.
Yeah.
There were people, experts, and
I generally think if somebody's practicing and gets cleared, they should play. But I do think in their situation, they need to protect him. No different than the Patriots trying to protect Drake.
Sure. Yeah, you can't get.
And this is what I was trying to ask Bedard. Do they start looking ahead here? Like next week, you get the Giants. You get the bye week. You want to see what they are against the Bills and the Ravens, right? But like those last 2 games of the year, don't you want to keep guys healthy and think? So I know they'll play it week to week. If we're thinking about down the road, I'm already thinking it because today was a bad sign of that.
Hey, you know what? You just to that point, last week I was completely shoving you aside when you kept saying about the Bengals. I'm focused on the Bengals.
I know.
And you were right. All day it was a mess because every week you could be faced with that.
Yes.
Every week. And that's the NFL. And they were today, and they overcame it, but there were things that went wrong.
We'll talk about it, but I don't necessarily feel that way next week. But Jameis threw up 366 today.
Yeah.
And he's likable. Everyone loves him. Like, you never know. He could let loose on national TV.
Oh, he definitely. And for me, I'm always jaded by the Giants. And,
yes,
it's just like, that's all.
Oh, jeez. So, I didn't even think about that part.
So it's a game at Gillette Stadium. I mean, it's going to be a test. If they had won today, it would have been even more interesting, and they should have won the game. They had it. It was 1st and goal, I think, from the 4. Under 3 minutes to go, under 4 minutes to go, and they were up. The Giants were 3. You score a touchdown there, that game's over. And they couldn't get it in. They couldn't get it done. They end up losing the game. But that'll be interesting. All right, more to come here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots post-game show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports on Patriots Radio Network.
Nobody knows New England like a true New Englander. We bang Ue's, gun through rotaries, and nurse wicked beaters through one more winter. We shovel snow in shorts and drink large iced coffees in January. And yeah, sometimes it sounds like we're speaking our own language. At McGovern Auto Group, we get it, because we live it. We know the roads and how New Englanders buy cars. With 35 locations, 25 top brands, and over 9,000 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock, we can make car buying wicked easy. Oh, and we're also the official automotive dealer of the New England Patriots. McGovern Auto Group, New England born and driven. Visit McGovernAuto.com today.
The Peterson School is now hiring for new instructors at all locations.
Hi, I'm Adam Norcott, an electrical instructor at the Peterson School. I've learned so much from my students and their
All right, Marcus Jones took that one to the house. Back here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show. And speaking of the house, nearly 30,000 people in Massachusetts don't have permanent housing. Heading Home is changing that. Get involved today at headinghomeinc.org. And that was sort of, shocking's too strong. But, I mean, Joe Flacco, I felt like with all his years' experience, he could see. Jones was in a full sprint. He read that play, and then Flacco on a little pump or hitch or whatever, and then he throws it. That must have been a lot of fun for Jones. That was a bad play by Joe Flacco.
That reminded me of Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Where Mac Jones had that struggled throwing to the sideline. I do know this.
Both pick sixes reminded me of Mac Jones, unfortunately.
Yes, they did. But I do think Flacco tried to shake him, though. He tried to shake him. Like, did the old, and he wasn't biting on it. Really nice play on that one. Let's talk about some of the good things, I guess, Mark.
Yeah.
Let's start with Andy Borregales.
Andy Borregales, excellent in this game. Do you have any numbers?
3 for 3, hit both his 2-point conversions and hit multiple or hit a couple from 50-yarders.
At least one.
And the late one put him up 6, which, where they ended up, they could have kicked the field goal the way that McPherson was kicking that day. He hit a 64-yarder before halftime. Oh, I didn't like the way that happened either. I know we're trying to talk positives here, but didn't like the way they ended the half either defensively.
So I actually didn't like, and just real quick on Borregales, he also had that kickoff, one of those kickoffs.
Yeah, that bounced,
that was a good one. I actually didn't like the field goal try there. I thought that was a good time to go. It was 4th and 2. You were inside there. There was still 30-something seconds to go. A touchdown there, I felt like really should have put the game almost out of reach based on what the Bengals had and what you are. And they kick the field goal, and then they give up. And they have time. They give up a couple chunk plays, and that was a huge win for the Bengals. Credit to the Patriots defense for kind of coming out strong to start the second half, which we've seen them do all year. I did not like that sequence. And I did not like, obviously, how the half ended.
Yeah, didn't like that either. But I would say Borregales had his, one of his better games. Maybe he gets a game ball. We already mentioned Marcus Jones, Carlton Davis. I thought after the pass interference call, really made some good pass breakup plays. I'll give him that. And then Hunter Henry, right? Helped get things started. 3 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. He finished with a career high 115 yards on 7 catches and a score. He could have had 2 touchdowns, but one was called back.
I'll tell you another thing I thought was pretty decent today. And, obviously I'm not breaking down film and this and that. I did not think Drake May was under siege all day long. I thought he had early there was some bad, he was congested, and we talked about the hand might have been hit. I thought overall as the game went on, he had, even on some of the bad throws, Joe, I thought he had some time. It wasn't because of the pressure. It was just bad execution, like he had to throw late in the game. Forget if it was on that final drive to Mac Hollins. I think it might have been the play before he converted to Diggs on the 3rd and 8. It was not even close. And there was nobody around May. It was beautiful protection. He just threw it behind Hollins on the crossing route. Like, that didn't make any sense to me.
I want to give the Bengals some credit because I think they allowed May to run today, and when he did, they pretty much, I don't want to say they did like that QB spy. They didn't do that. They just kind of, if he was going to run, they were going to be ready for it. I think the other thing is when he tried, he's elusive in the pocket.
Yeah.
He tried to spin a couple of times. I think there's a blueprint out that when Drake May spins, he spins towards the sideline. And when he spanned, they went right towards it. So when he, normally he kind of goes forward.
Yeah.
Lately he's been going toward, I just thought they played it well, I guess is where I'm going with it.
And the one sack the Bengals had, 1 sack for 10 yards, I wouldn't even put it on the offensive line. It was a free rusher. Yeah. They were blitzing. May knew it. He was looking right at him.
Exactly.
Should have gotten the ball out, and he tried to get around him or whatever, and he got him down.
And it's weird. That's when Vidarian Lowe came into the game.
Yeah.
I don't blame Lowe, although it's kind of near his zone.
It was on his side, but I don't think it was his fault.
Exactly. And they had nothing for it, right? Like, what was the play there?
Right.
If he sees it coming, what's the audible? What's the change or anything?
Hot read or whatever it's called.
He just got sacked.
Right.
And again, that's the play I'm talking about where he tried to maneuver.
Oh, it is.
They were all right
exactly,
over.
Yeah.
Same exact play.
So that didn't work out. But overall, again, there are days you could have a day, and I know you don't want him getting hit and all that. You could have a day where he gets sacked 4 or 5 times, but if those are the only 4 or 5 times he was really under pressure, I'll probably come out of it saying, like, yeah, it was a pretty good day from a pass protection perspective. I just didn't think today he was under pressure. I thought even some of the bad throws, he had time. The last one when he floated it up there, it could have been a disaster. They had trouble protecting him on that blitz. It wasn't perfect, obviously, but I thought overall it was decent protection. And when I was really bearing down on the protection, I thought it wasn't bad. So that's something that I thought they did well. Borregales, like you said, excellent. It was nice to see. He's not going to go crazy, but it was nice to see Kyle Williams enter the stat sheet or the chat or whatever you want to call it. He had a catch. The only problem I had with that catch was he caught the ball in open, in space. And he let like a guy wearing number 49 chase him down. I thought he was supposed to be the fastest guy on the field. Like, go to the open area. Don't run right where the guy can trip you up. Yeah. I didn't think the run after the catch was that good.
Should we give Ramondre another couple of weeks here? Like, yeah. I think he slowed the offense down.
Yeah, he was a non-factor in this.
He was like cement legs. If I could be kind, is that? I don't know that. Yeah, I think he slowed down everything when he was out there today.
I wish they could create some type of screen game. They have nothing, none. Henderson included. Just a little, a disguise or a dump off that you can get some big yardage on those plays. And they just have not been able to get any momentum at all doing that, and it's been tough for them in that regard. Are we going to go around the NFL? Or is it okay? We can go around the NFL when we get back here. But first, Joe Murray's going to give us the headlines. Let's do it. All right, back here on the Shaw Star Market Patriots postgame show. To Weird Al Yankovic's Amish Paradise, music of the game is brought to you by Live Nation. He's back. Weird Al Yankovic, Bigger and Weirder Tour 2026.
In
Saturday, July 18th at TD Garden. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
I had that album, and instead of the song Lump, he did a song about Forrest Gump called Gump. And I loved it. He's Gump. He's Gump.
So the best song on that album, without getting too far into the weeds, was, and I don't even remember it right now, something about Santa, or do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember the song?
I'll have to
The
look
Nightmare Before Christmas, something like that.
Yeah.
That was the song,
yeah.
and that was the best song in the album. I got to look that up now. That was. I didn't know he was still doing shows. Okay, let's go around the NFL.
Do it.
Crazy day in the NFL. And for a while, Joe, I thought it was going to be a bunch of teams sort of experiencing what the Patriots were experiencing, where they were playing lesser opponents. One of those games was the Giants visiting the Lions.
Goff up under center, turns, gives to Gibbs. Gibbs hesitates.
What do you got, Gibbs?
45 to the 50. Right sideline 40. Jets on.
There he goes. What do you got?
Go. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Ford Field. Stand up. Stand up. 65 yards.
Everyone from the 313 is what I feel like he should be doing.
Courtesy of 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit. That was Jahmyr Gibbs, 69-yard rushing touchdown in overtime. So in this game, Joe, I was saying to you, I think off the air, the Giants had it fourth. Check that. They were on first down from the 4 with under 4 minutes to go, up 3. If they score a touchdown there, that game is over. They went for it on fourth down, didn't get it. Then the craziest field goal that you'll ever see goes through. I don't know how far out he get, but that thing it moved off the path, outside the goalpost, and then back in. So that tied the game. They went to overtime, and then Gibbs had the run.
Yeah, Jake Bates, 59-yarder in that one. He's
59 yards.
Yeah, 59. The Lions weren't good today. They really weren't. If anything, it was Jameis Winston in his 306. You know who threw a touchdown today for the Giants? Gunnar Olszewski.
Threw a touchdown.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jameis did a lot of work on that play, though.
Yeah.
He broke a tackle.
33 yards for Gunnar Olszewski on that one. But next week, Singletary, Tracy, you saw the running game without Milton Williams today. Could they do that next week? And I do think it will be Jackson Dart. But I think Winston's more of a, I guess, a problem, I would say.
Yeah, he could definitely make more plays at this point in his career, but those mistakes are still there. Okay, maybe the biggest game of the day today in Kansas City between the Colts and the Chiefs.
Ariza waits for the go signal. Butker's kick is good, and the Chiefs have not led in this game until now. They get a walk-off field goal in overtime from Harrison Butker. Kansas City 23, the Colts 20 in overtime.
All right, sound courtesy of 96.5 The Fan in Kansas City, and I'll just say this: I have no love for the Chiefs whatsoever, Joe, but this is, a champion doing what a champion with a championship medal. That's what that was. They didn't lead all game. Now, Kansas City at home this year, totally different than on the road. They have not been good at all on the road. Very good at home. They've beaten good teams at home. They find a way. It wasn't going well. Patrick Mahomes, they were down 17-9. 20-17. They find a way to battle back. They get it to overtime. They make the plays to win it, and they stay alive.
I would just say this to the Colts. Don't give up 11 points in the fourth quarter. And then don't let Patrick Mahomes get the ball in overtime, but you did.
Yeah.
And there you go. But Daniel Jones wasn't bad today, but Jonathan Taylor still third in the MVP, but did not have a strong day.
No, and you got to do that when you're playing the Chiefs in Kansas City. And it just didn't happen for them. It didn't look like it was going to happen early on for the Ravens as they hosted the Jets today.
Derrick Henry alone in the backfield. Lamar under center on 4th and goal from the Jets 2. The give is to Henry. Right side. He's got a hole. He's in. Touchdown Ravens.
Courtesy of 98 Rock, WIYY in Baltimore. Ravens were down at the half. The offense wasn't doing anything. They find a way against the Jets to get control and go on to win that game. What was the final? I don't even have the final.
23-10.
23-10 was the final.
Tyrod Taylor kept him in the game. He was better today than anything we've seen from Fields, but Lamar Jackson is still the story there. Pressured 10 times, sacked once, threw for 153 yards, had 7 attempts for 11 yards. He's not right, but they continue to win, and they weren't great today. Zay Flowers at 5 for 58, Henry 21 for 64, his 2 touchdowns. Their defense is getting better. If you really want to look into the Ravens, that's their story. Because they were so bad earlier in the year.
That's the big
16
story.
last week, 10 this week. They play the Patriots in just a couple of weeks.
They figured it out defensively, and that is the story. I think at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson's going to make some plays. He's going to be there. I don't think he's the reason that you don't give them any chance, obviously, but that defense turning it around changed their season. Another team that's having a sneaky good season this year is the Chicago Bears, who hosted the Pittsburgh Steelers today.
Shotgun snap. Caleb taps the ball. Throwing open down the seam end zone. Touchdown. DJ Moore. Touchdown Bears, baby. Bears have taken the lead.
As heard on ESPN 1000 WMVP in Chicago, Joe Murray. Caleb Williams today, 239 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Bears win 31-28. They are 8-3.
Steelers blew it. Mason Rudolph threw an interception, got sacked late. They had the lead, but I want to give some credit to Caleb Williams. To your point, he is now 8-1 in his last 9 games. Did you know that Drake May in his last 9 games, 9-0? Bo Nix, 8-1.
Okay, so some of these young guns showing out. We're real quick. Bears leading that division right now by a half a game. Are they a dangerous team?
No.
Okay, I don't think so either.
If the Lions are out and the Vikings are out, and
the Vikings are out, they're 4-7.
Packers are hanging around. I mean, I still think the Packers are better than the Bears, but the Packers have been more frauds than I guess the Bears have been this year.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 3 teams out of that division making the playoffs, unless Detroit. Well, I mean, I guess the Packers, their offense hasn't been great. We'll see what happens there, but a very good division this year, and the Lions currently in 3rd place. We'll see what happens on Thanksgiving Day. A big one this afternoon, late game, the late window, Cowboys hosting the Eagles.
Shipley goes in motion, comes to the left of Hurts. A.J. Brown is left. Back goes Hurts. He steps up. He fires complete. A.J. Brown, touchdown!
Okay, so A.J. Brown involved. Philly, it's good for them because then he gets whatever he gets, ornery or annoyed. 21-7 currently, Philly over Dallas about 4 minutes ago in the third quarter.
Things have slowed down, but Eagles got out 21-0. Cowboys threw an interception in the red zone as well. Dak has thrown a touchdown, but the Cowboys need this game bad. They have that tie. They're just on the cusp of the playoff. I don't know if two teams can come out of the NFC East. I think it's Eagles all the way.
I do too. I think it's going to be one team out of the NFC East and one team out of the NFC South, two teams out of the West and three out of the North. Does that get you to 7? I don't know if my math was.
You need 8, right? Is it 8 or is
one
7. Bye and then
7, right? You get 7 in.
Now you got me confused on my
it's 7, right? It used to be
spots.
6.
Okay.
I thought. Now I think
Now
it's
you got
7.
a bye.
So, who's the best team in the league right now, Joe?
It's the Rams. We'll see them tonight. Yeah, it's the Rams.
Even though they've sort of,
they skated last week.
Been a little leaky. Yeah.
Yeah, they got bailed out. Darnold, they set him up. He threw 3 interceptions last week and still had a chance to win the game on a field goal.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, right? The Pats have beat the Bucs. We just saw teams beat Bills beat the Bucs. Let's see if the Rams can beat the Bucs.
The Rams is probably the right answer. I mean, it's just the Eagles' offense hasn't quite been. They maybe look better today. The offense
Well, McVay, Stafford, and Puka Nacua and all their receiving core, and their defense has been pretty solid.
But it's not going to be easy. They've got Tampa. They've got at Carolina. I don't think that's a throwaway game.
Who's the second best team in the league?
Probably Philly.
I still think when it comes down to it, if you have to play there, they're just loaded.
Yeah.
And their line is spectacular.
Look, the Patriots, it's hard to say. Like, are they overrated? Are they underrated? I mean, the defense really makes it a little misty. They need to play another top team. I need to see that type of matchup again.
This is one more thing. Just when Cam Newton mentioned the Patriots, and it's not about Drake May, he mentioned Josh McDaniels is who gets the credit. Do you think other people around the league think like that about the Patriots and Drake May? Like
that
they
Josh
think
McDaniels gets
that maybe like Drake's not as good as maybe the MVP chance and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people around the league that think that. I don't know why. I mean, again, I didn't play in the league. I wasn't a quarterback. I'm looking at it. I mean, Cam Newton's got obviously, but I'm not seeing it. He makes all the throws, Joe. He's dynamic. He can do things down the field. He's pretty accurate. I feel like he's gotten better all the way, when it comes to making the reads. Even on the first completion today, which was pretty meaningless, he went through, I think, 4 progressions and then hit, I think it might have been Mac Hollins or somebody. Great just job going through the reads. And just like that, and he made a bad play into a good play in like nothing. So I just feel like he has checked a lot of boxes. And I just don't know where you could. Fool's gold. Is he as good as people want to say? That's one. Fool's gold is you're a fraud. That's what fool's gold is to me. So I just thought that was way too strong, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. All right. More to come when we get back. We're going to look ahead to what's coming up. Monday Night Football. Giants off of an explosive performance today coming to Gillette Stadium next Monday. We'll talk a little bit about that. That's next on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Oh, it's down the left sideline for Winston, who makes the catch at the 15. Jameis reaching, fighting it is in for the touchdown. Holy cow!
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if we'll get to see it next Monday night, Joe, but what are your initial thoughts as you look ahead towards Patriots hosting the Giants on Monday Night Football?
So my first thought is the game's at home, and it's the game before a bye. I think Mike Vrabel's going to have a lot in practice this week to really, like the guys had a couple of days off after a nice little run. I think Vrabel's going to hit them hard this week, show them the film where it was bad. They'll probably work on red zone all week long. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a focal point.
Offense and defense.
Yep. And maybe that's what they do in practice. They'll probably practice outside, too, because that's what the veterans want to do. I think they really need to go back to the running game. I felt that Stevenson slowed him down today, but I'm not giving up on Stevenson. When they are in a running, when you mentioned under center, right?
Yeah.
When they're in that situation, ready to run, they are so good out of the play action, it's not even funny.
Oh.
It's beautiful, right? It's beautiful.
Down the seam, on the outside, all of the above.
I think they should have that style against the Giants. The Giants are going to, if it's Jameis, they're pushing the ball downfield. And they're going to hand it off to Singleton and guys like that. If it's Dart, I think the defense now has to play a little bit more of a zone to watch for the run. But they probably want to highlight Dart versus May. I just have that feeling. Not to mention, who comes in? What channel is the game on next week? It's ESPN, right?
It's ESPN for Monday Night Football.
Oh, okay. Do you think we're going to get any Stephen A., Cam Newton, any of that this week? Like, do you think that's going to get highlighted this week?
Probably have some chatter, yeah.
Do you think we're going to hear about Giants versus Patriots and the history and all that stuff?
100%.
Okay. Patriots need to dominate the Giants on national TV.
Make a statement.
Exactly. Go into the week, a bye week, get healthy, get an update on Will Campbell. Get an update on everybody, but I think that they can win with Vidarian Lowe. But to Bedard's point, I think if Westover becomes the third tight end and they get a fullback in there instead of Tonga, they need to start running the ball towards the end of the year. And against the Ravens, you might have to hold on to the ball a little bit more from the way that they run the ball as well.
Yeah, and maybe Josh McDaniels will help out that pass protection, protect Vidarian Lowe a little bit. But I would just like to see them address, obviously, if they could dominate the Giants, great. Address some of the issues. Goal line, offense and defense, the slow starts, all those things. Try to shore some of those up and show improvement before you head into the bye. And really, I do agree with you. I think he's going to push them hard this week. Speaking of dominant, our crew in Cincinnati, producer Mark Capello, engineer Dennis Knudsen, sideline text Tyler Knudsen and Mike Perry, and our guys here in Waltham, Luke Armpriest, our intern studio technician Kevin Majori, studio producer Ryan Beaton, and executive producer Jeremy Conley. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Patriots, has teamed with Shaw's and Star Market for sacking hunger. Today, the Patriots recorded one sack. That's another $1,000 donated by the Shaw's and Star Market Nourishing Neighbors Foundation to the Boys and Girls Club of Boston to help end hunger. So a great cause there as the Patriots, they get the win by the final of 26-20 over the Cincinnati Bengals. They move to 10-2 and currently, as a result, have the number one seed in the AFC because the Broncos are on the bye week. So the Patriots currently, as of now, the number one seed and counting as they go into next Monday night when we'll be on the air after the game when they host the New York Giants at Gillette Stadium. For Joe Murray, I'm Mark Dondero. Joey, happy Thanksgiving. Any big plans you're going to be eating?
I don't know. St. John's Prep Severian. Who you got, bro?
Severian in dominant fashion.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go St. John's Prep.
The game doesn't mean anything, really. I mean, it does, but they're going to play in the Super Bowl, so I don't know
That's true.
They're going to work on that. It's always a weird.
I'll get you a line on that one next week.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll see where that ends up going. All right, Patriots win at 26-20. For Joe Murray, I'm Mark Dondero. Let's say happy Thanksgiving to everybody from the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
This has been the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Shaw's and Star